Hi viewers, once again welcome to UN College Digital Class. I am Ms. Viswakalpita Mahanti, Head of the Department of Master in Social Work. We had already discussed about Domestic Violence Act 2005 and we discussed from section 1 to section 6 in previous class. So, in this class we will discuss further. Under section 7, duties of medical facilities. If an aggrieved person or on her behalf a protection officer or a service provider requests the person in charge of a medical facility to provide any medical aid to her, such person in charge of the medical facility shall provide medical aid to the aggrieved person in the medical facilities. There is medical facilities duties. If the protection officer felt that the woman have health issue or woman is facing any type of health injuries, then they have to provide medical facilities to her. Any type of facilities like counseling in medical or like counseling for any type of health issues or any medicines or any type of medical facilities which is provided to the victim or aggrieved person if she has any health issue or if she has any type of injuries for domestic violence issue. There is section 8. In section 8, there is appointment of protection officers. Part 1, the state government shall by notification appoint such number of protection officers in each district as it may consider necessary and shall also notify the area or areas within which a protection officer shall exercise the powers and perform the duties conferred on him by or under this act. Under this act, there is appointment of protection officer and they have responsibility and inform them their responsibility and their duties, how they can inform and how they can provide facilities and protect the women who are victim or who are the aggrieved person and facing domestic violence in our society. State government appointed protection officer for eradicating the domestic violence issue from our society. The protection officer shall as far as possible be women and shall possess such qualification and experience as may be prescribed. For the protection officer appointment, government always try to appoint women as a protection officer because in our society women are facing mainly domestic violence issues and domestic violence problems. So, government always try to appoint a woman on that post and also possess some qualifications and experiences for protection officer post. The terms and conditions of service of the protection officer and the other officers subordinate to him shall be such as may be prescribed. There is some other officers who coordinates the protection officer and who cooperate the protection officers to provide the facilities or to provide the provisions which are under Domestic Violence Act and inform the victims or aggrieved persons about the Domestic Violence Act and help the protection officer for their work. Under section 9, there is duties and functions of protection officers. It shall be the duty of the protection officer to assist the magistrate in the discharge of his functions under this act. Under this act, there is the duties of protection officer is to assist or to cooperate the magistrate in the discharge of his functions to provide the provisions or to provide the facilities under this act for domestic violence issue or for the aggrieved person or the victims who are facing domestic violence problem. Then to make a domestic incident report to the magistrate in such form and in such manner as may be prescribed upon receipt of a complaint of domestic violence and forward copies thereof to the police officer in charge of the police station within the local limits of whose jurisdiction domestic violence is alleged to have been committed and to the service providers in that area. If there is any domestic violence report to the magistrate, then they have to forward the report to in charge of the police, who is the in charge of the police station of the local area, and also the service providers who are providing service to the aggrieved person, or who are providing service to the victims of domestic violence issue. Then for C, to make an application in such form and in such manner as may be prescribed to the magistrate if the aggrieved person so desires claiming relief for issuance of a protection order. If a victim claiming relief for any issue or desires for monetary relief or shelter home or compensation order or custody order, then protection officer have to make an application for providing that services to the victim or to the aggrieved person. Then to ensure that the aggrieved person is provided legal aid under the Legal Service Authorities Act 1987 and make available free of cost the prescribed form in which a complaint is to be made. If there is a domestic violence issue complaint, then government provided legal aid under Legal Services Authority Act 1987 to the aggrieved person or to the victim. Then to maintain a list of all services providers providing legal aid or counseling shelter homes and medical facilities in a local area within the jurisdiction of the magistrate. Protection officer has to make a list of counseling centers, medical facilities or different service provider institutions or voluntary organizations which are providing services to the woman or aggrieved person, because through the list the protection officer can provide immediate service to the victim or to the aggrieved person. So, protection officer has to make a plan or has to make a list of that institutions or of that service providers or counseling centers or medicals which are residing in the local areas of the incident or local areas of the victim, to make available a safe shelter home if the aggrieved person so requires, and forward a copy of his report of having lost the aggrieved person in a shelter home to the police station and the magistrate having jurisdiction in the area where the shelter home is situated. Protection officer have to make availability of safe shelter home for the aggrieved person or for the victim and forward a copy of his report to the shelter home, through which shelter home can provide the facilities of that home to the aggrieved person or to the victim. To get the aggrieved person medically examined, if she has sustained bodily injuries, and forward a copy of the medical report to the police station and the magistrate having jurisdiction in the area where the domestic violence is alleged to have been taken place. Protection officer has to medically examine the aggrieved person if she has any physical injury and also forwarded the medical report to the local police station, to which will help the police for investigation of that issue. To ensure that the order for monetary relief under section 20 is compiled with and executed in accordance with the procedure prescribed under the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 2 of 1974. There is monetary relief under section 20 for the victim or for the aggrieved person. Then to perform such other duties as may be prescribed, there is some other duties for the protection officer, and in part 2 of section 9, the protection officer shall be under the control and supervision of the magistrate and shall perform the duties imposed on him by the magistrate and the government shall by or under this act. The protection officer always supervised and controlled under the magistrate and perform the duties which is imposed on him by the magistrate and the supervision of magistrate and the government also. Under section 10 of Domestic Violence Act 2005, there is service providers. Subject to such rules as may be made in this behalf, any voluntary association registered under the Society Registration Act 1860, 21 of 1860, or a company registered under the Companies Act 1956, 1 of 1956, or any other law for the time being in force with the objective of protecting the rights and interests of women by any lawful means, including providing of legal aid, medical, financial or other assistance, shall register itself with the state government as a service provider for the purpose of this act. There is under section 10 service providers. In our society, many NGOs and government organizations and different voluntary organizations working for development of women's society and working for eradication of domestic violence issue, and the organization have to registered under the Society Registration Act 1860 or any companies registered under the Companies Act 1956 and also any other law which have objective on eradicating the domestic violence issue and providing support and legal aid and medical facilities to the victims who are facing problems of domestic violence issue in our society. So, in our society, different NGOs and voluntary organizations have objective on that, and they are registered under the state government to provide facilities to the women and cooperate and support them, and also providing shelters and providing medical aid and legal aid in free basis. In part 2 of section 10, there is a service provider registered under subsection 1 shall have the power to section 10, there is record the domestic incident report in the prescribed form if the aggrieved person so desires and forward a copy thereof to the magistrate and the protection officer having jurisdiction in the area where the domestic violence took place. The service provider have to maintain record on domestic violence issue. When a woman facing problem in our society on domestic violence issue, then the service provider have to maintain the record on that because of proof, and they have to forward it to the magistrate and also the protection officer on that report because of record and documentation. In part B, there is get the aggrieved person medically examined and forward a copy of the medical report to the protection officer and the police station with the local limits of which the domestic violence took place. The service provider have to medically examine the victim, because when the service provider received a victim and providing service to her, then they have to examine medically, because they have to know that the medical issues or health issues of the victim through which they can provide service in better way, and they can provide medical aid to the victim and also make a report on medically examined and also forward the report to the police station in local area in which area the domestic violence issue took place, and also providing a report to the protection officer. Then part C, ensure that the aggrieved person is provided shelter in a shelter home if she so requires, and forward a report of the lodging of the aggrieved person in the shelter home to the police station within the local limits of which the domestic violence took place. If the aggrieved person has need of shelter, then the service provider has to providing safe shelter to the victim or to the aggrieved person, through which a victim can live or survive whole life in safely and securely, and also making a record and making a report on that victim and providing the report or forward the report to the local police station because of documentation and because of safe and security of the woman and also the organization. In part 3, there is no suit, prosecution or other legal proceedings shall lie against any service provider or any member of the service provider who is deemed to be acting or purporting to act under this act for anything which is in good faith done or intended to be done in the exercise of powers or discharge of functions under this act towards the prevention of the commission of domestic violence. This act always providing the prevention to the victim and prevention to the aggrieved person when a person facing domestic violence issue. Then section 11, duties of government. What are the duties of central government and state government? The central government and every state government shall take all measures to ensure that, because they have major role and they have vital role for eradicating the issues from our country and from our state. Part A of section 11, the provisions of this act are given wide publicity through public media including the television, radio and the print media also at regular intervals. There is need of awareness in our community, because in our society the women are mainly illiterate, uneducated, who are facing domestic violence issue. So government has to plan on that, and government has to make publicity of provisions under this act for women or for the victims and aggrieved persons who are facing domestic violence issue in our society, and also publicity in television, print media and radio also, through which the women can aware about the provisions under this act and through which they can solve their problem themselves and they can fight for their rights also. In part B, the central government and state government officers including the police officers and the members of the judicial services are given periodic sensitization and awareness training on the issues addressed by this act. Both the central government and state government officers and also the police officers and judicial officers has given sensitization and awareness program training through which they can support the victims and they can support the aggrieved person who are facing problem in our society, and they can cooperate the victims and aggrieved persons and also providing them prescription through which they can fight and they can solve their problem. So the state government and central government officers who are service provider and also the police officer and different judicial officers given training program on domestic violence issue. Then part C, effective coordination between the services provided by concerned ministries and departments dealing with law, home affairs including law and order, health and human resources to address issues of domestic violence is established and periodical review of the same is conducted. There is transparency between different departments and different ministries and coordination also, and also arrange a review meeting on different provisions of this act through which they can review the provisions and they can review actually the beneficiaries are getting the provisions or not, and how they can develop in different way and how they can more develop the women society and how they can empower the women, and also monitoring the provisions through which the victims or aggrieved persons can get a service from the government and also eradicate the domestic violence issue from our society. Then part D, protocols for the various ministries concerned with the delivery of services to women under this act including the codes are prepared and put in place. Code prepared protocols for various ministries on domestic violence issue. Then section 12, application to magistrate. Part 1. An aggrieved person or a protection officer or any other person on behalf of the aggrieved person may present an application to the magistrate seeking one or more reliefs under this act, and provided that before passing any order on such application, the magistrate shall take into consideration an domestic incident report received by him from the protection officer or the service provider. If any aggrieved person has need of any kind of facility, then they have to give a application to magistrate on her problem or on her incident, which is known as domestic incident report, which is received by the protection officer and or the service provider, through which the protection officer or service provider can prescribe the solution to the woman. Part 2. The relief sought for under subsection 1 may include a relief for issuance of an order for payment of compensation or damages without prejudice to the right of such person to institute a suit of compensation or damages for the injuries caused by the acts of domestic violence which is committed by the respondent, provided that where a decree for any amount as compensation or damages has been passed by any court in favor of the aggrieved person, the amount, if any, paid or payable in pursuance of the order made by the magistrate under this act, it shall be set off against the amount payable under such decree, and the decree shall, notwithstanding anything contained in the Code of Civil Procedure 1908 or any other law for the time being in force, be executable for the balance amount, if any, left after such set off. In part 2 of section 12, there is issuance or there is relief for women, mainly monetary relief, when an woman facing monetary problem or financial issue, and for example, when a woman lost her money or lost her any valuable gifts or any valuable property, then there is monetary issuance or monetary relief for women. In part 3, every application under the subsection 1 shall be in such form and contain such particulars as may be prescribed or as nearly as possible thereto. Under every application, there is particular facilities prescribed by the service provider or protection officer or magistrate to fight against the domestic violence issue. Then part 4, the magistrate shall fix the first date of hearing, which shall not ordinarily be beyond 3 days from the date of receipt of the application by the court. When the court get application, then in between the 3 days, the magistrate has to fix the first date of hearing of the issue. Then part 5, the magistrate shall endeavour to dispose of every application made under subsection 1 within a period of 60 days from the date of its first hearing. When the first hearing date over, then magistrate has to dispose of every application of the victim or the aggrieved person. Then section 13, service of notice. Part 1, a notice of the date of hearing fixed under section 12 shall be given by the magistrate to the protection officer, who shall get it served by such means as may be prescribed on the respondent and on any other person as directed by the magistrate within a maximum period of 2 days or such further reasonable time as may be allowed by the magistrate from the date of its receipt. There is a notice of hearing date which is made by the magistrate and also provided the report on that to the protection officer because of reporting and documentation on the victim, and also record the report. Then part 2, a declaration of service of notice made by the protection officer in such form as may be prescribed shall be the proof that such notice was served upon the respondent and on any other person as directed by the magistrate unless the contrary is proved. It is a proof on that when a declaration of service of notice provided by the protection officer and directed by the magistrate, which notice was served for the respondent or any other person who was linked with the respondent. Under section 14, there is counseling. Actually, counseling always provide motivation and mentally support to the person or to the victim. Part 1 of counseling, the magistrate may at any stage of the proceeding under this act direct the respondent or the aggrieved person either singly or jointly to undergo counseling with any member of a service provider who possess such qualification and experience in counseling as may be prescribed. In section 14, there is counseling for the aggrieved person and also the persons who are linked with the aggrieved person. Through counseling, a victim or aggrieved person can get mentally support, and through which a woman can get knowledge on provisions under this act, through which she can fight against her problem and solve her problem herself. And the counselor has qualification and experience on counseling which is prescribed in the criteria of a counselor post or of a counselor. Part 2, where the magistrate has issued any direction under subsection 1, he shall fix the next date of hearing of the case within a period not exceeding 2 months. Under subsection 1, magistrate shall be fix the next date of hearing in between the period of 2 months of the previous date. In section 15, there is assistance of welfare expert. In any proceeding under this act, the magistrate may secure the services of such person, preferably a woman, whether related to the aggrieved person or not, including a person engaged in promoting family welfare as he thinks fit for the purpose of assisting him in discharging his function. Under section 15, there is assistance of welfare expert. It is promoting family welfare and assisting the purpose of family welfare, through which the welfare of a family can develop. Then section 16, there is proceeding to be held in camera. If the magistrate considers that the circumstances of the case so warrant, and if either party to the proceeding so desires, he may conduct the proceeding under this act in camera. If the magistrate thought that there is need of recording and there is need of documentation, the magistrate can use the camera because of proceeding the issue, because of proceeding the investigation data of the victim. Then section 17, right to reside in a shared household. Part 1, notwithstanding anything contained in any other law for the time being in force, every woman in a domestic relationship shall have the right to reside in the shared household whether or not she has any right, title or beneficial interest in the same. When a woman is a domestic relationship because of marriage, because of blood relation, because of family member, she has right to live in a shared household with the respondent also. No one can deny her to live in a shared household. Then part 2, the aggrieved person shall not be evicted or excluded from the shared household or any part of it by the respondent save in accordance with the procedure established by law. The victim shall not be avoided or excluded by the shared household. The victim shall not be avoided or excluded from the shared household or from any property which is owned by the respondent. Here we have discussed about other sections of the Domestic Violence Act 2005, because in previous class we already discussed section 1 to section 6. So go through the previous video through which you can get knowledge section 1 to section 6, and also you can understand these sections which we had studied in this lecture. And keep watching UN College digital class because we will continue this class. Thank you.